Want to have a good idea on how to write your own program? Stay tuned to find out. Hey, it's Cameron with the Atlas Strength Shop, and today we're going to try something a little bit different. I'm not going to lie, I really have no idea how this is going to go. I'm going to try to film all this kind of off the cuff. But today what we're going to do is we're going to go through a program writing in real time. We're going to get to the skeleton phase, or to the end of the skeleton phase as I call it. And I've got my iPad set up. I've got it in a nice wide canvas on an app called Procreate. I'm going to screen grab this, put it up top so you can actually see me doing this in real time. So let's get started. All right. Okay, that's not what I wanted to do. Already I am running into issues. Okay. All right, now we are screen recording. So first we want to decide what we actually want to do with this program. Let me actually make sure it is screen recording. Okay, it is screen recording. I just want to make sure of that before we went through this whole thing and it wound up being a waste. So we want to decide what kind of program we're going to write. In this case, we're going to do a program based around hypertrophy. So what does that mean? That means we're going to want a little bit higher rep ranges, not too high, but high enough to where we want to hit those kind of 8 to 12 range. So if we go like less than 6 reps per set, that's usually what I reserve for strength. Hypertrophy is going to be anywhere from 8 to 12 usually. 10 to 15, I'll throw those into a hypertrophy program whenever I'm dealing with single joint exercises, like for example, tricep extensions, leg extensions, things such as that. So let's go ahead and wipe those off. Now, as far as a program actually goes, you're going to usually do these in waves. So I'll just make some lines right here. So let's say each one of these waves is about 3 weeks. Generally what you're gonna see is you're going to see the weight increase. Went to the eraser mode. You're gonna see the weight increase as the reps decrease, and then they kind of go back down and it undulates like that. So that's kind of what we're going for in this. So every single program that I write is going to revolve around 4 things. It's going to revolve around a squat, a bench, a deadlift, and an overhead press. So what does that mean as far as a week goes? Well, let's look at it. Let's kind of zoom in, or I can't really tell if I'm zooming in when it's just a white background. All right, we'll roll with that. So let's say we're gonna start with a squat. Day 1, squat. We're gonna have our primary exercise. Let's go ahead and talk about that real quick. So the way I usually do my weeks, or my days I should say, we have a primary, forgive the handwriting, a secondary, and then we get to our assistance work. If we're talking about something like a squat, primary is going to be a squat, secondary might be a different version of a squat or Romanian deadlift, something like that, depending on what we're going to do. And then our assistance work are going to be our things like our leg extensions, our leg curls, our sled pushes, and whatnot. So that's kind of how I base everything. So we got week 1. Day 1, we're gonna squat. So let's go with, we're doing a hypertrophy program. Let's go 4 sets of 8 to 12 reps. We'll probably start it off something relatively small. So let's say 65%. B, We'll do Romanian deadlifts. That's usually what I like doing because I like having that extra frequency. So I'll put some kind of squat pattern on my deadlift day, some kind of deadlift pattern on my squat day. So we'll say Romanian deadlifts. We'll put 4 by 8 to 12. Generally, the way I work this is depending on how A felt, I kind of auto-regulate B. So if things felt really, really good and I got a lot of energy, I'll go a little bit heavier on my assistance work than I will, if I'm just dead. What I usually do after this, I'll have my A and my B, and then I'll do the rest in a circuit pattern. Let's go ahead and we'll just do 3. So we'll call it leg extensions. I don't know what just happened there. We'll call it 15. Let's see. Hamstring rollers. By AMRAP. This is a body weight exercise, so not everybody is going to be able to do a lot of reps on this. And then I'll usually do some kind of core exercise on my leg day. So let's keep it simple, just call it a plank. I want to overcomplicate this today. So that is what a basic day will look like, and you just kind of plug these in with your other movements. So for example, on day 2, we're doing bench. I'll keep those same things right there, and then we'll do something like, side pass kicking my ass today. I need to replace the tip of this little pencil. So my assistance exercise will be something like, we'll call it Arnold press. And at this point, you should kind of get the basic idea of what we're trying to accomplish. So what I'll generally do is we'll do this for those 4 days, and then each week, let's go ahead and clear that. So week 1, go away. Go ahead and make that a little thicker so y'all can see it. So week 1, we'll call it 65%. Week 2, we'll call it 70%. Week 3, we'll call it 75%. We'll try to keep those same rep ranges going throughout, but our weights get a little bit heavier. After that 3rd week, depending on how it felt, if I'm getting all of my reps good, like if everything is moving along solid, then what I'll do is I'll take my estimated 1 rep max, and on the upper body movements, I'll add 5 pounds to my estimated 1 rep max. Lower body movements, I'll add 10 pounds to my estimated 1 rep max. If it's something like deadlift personally, I can move a lot. I can press pretty fast with deadlift. So if deadlift, I'm just blowing out of the water, I might go 15 pounds if I am just blowing deadlift out of the water. So what happens is when I go back and I do another 3-week wave, now instead of calculating off of just keep the math easy, well, as easy as it can be when I'm filming with my phone, which has my calculator on it. Let's say I was only squatting 100 pounds for my 1 rep max. Then I'm doing 4 sets of 8 to 12 at 65. Now my estimated is 110. So now instead of being 65 pounds that I'm doing, it's gonna be somewhere between 65 and 70. I can't do the math off the top of my head, but those percentages stay the same, but they constantly go up. So I'll do 2 3-week waves. And then after that second, third week, so 6 weeks total, I'll generally take a deload week. What is a deload week? Clear. A deload week is essentially a week where you're giving your body a little bit of a break. What that usually looks like when I'm programming for people or for myself instead of doing that 65, 70, 75, or in the case of I'm working for strength, it's probably going to look more like 85, 90, 95 for much lower reps. I do 3 by 5 at 55, and I divide all of my assistance work in half. Where I would have done 3 to 4 sets of assistance work, I only do 2. That way my body gets a little bit of a break. After that deload week, you up those estimated 1 rep maxes again, and you do your math all over again. Generally, you can probably get away with running 2 6-week blocks with a deload in between before you need to switch it up and focus on something else. Because the problem is, you're not going to just be able to do hypertrophy forever and keep getting good results. You have to switch it up. So I'll generally do 12 weeks of that hypertrophy, and then I focus on strength. And generally what that is going to look like is instead of 8 to 12, now we're looking at, let's see. Now we're looking at, do another squat day. A will be squat. Let's just call it 3 by 6 at 85%. Then the next week it might be 3 by 5 at 90, and then maybe 3 by 3 at 95 for the following week. Generally, B, C1, C2, and C3 stay relatively the same because it's this main effort that we're getting all of our horsepower out of. Same thing, same rules apply. You continue to up your training max by 5 pounds for the upper body, 10 pounds by the lower body, depending on just how the math is working out and just how your body is feeling. Obviously, if you are not completing your reps, then we're working with too heavy of a training max, and then you have to readjust and recalculate what your estimated 1 rep max is. So yeah, bare bones, that's pretty much how almost every program works in some form or another. Obviously, the details are different, whether you're dealing with some kind of linear progression, an RPE method, 5-3-1, cube method, but they all work on that principle of keeping the reps high and the weight moderate, or low to moderate, and then as the reps go down, the weight goes up, and it just undulates, just like that. And eventually, at the end of it, you're stronger than where you were when you started. So like I said, I did this off the cuff, mostly because I'm not going to have time to film tomorrow morning, helping a local circus group with some stuff, so that'll be fun. If you like this video, then please like and subscribe to the channel. I plan on going into a lot more detail with this in the future. Maybe do some breakdowns on 5-3-1, starting strength, all these different programs that are floating around out there, so I can really show y'all what's going on behind the scenes with those programs. If you're in the Baton Rouge area, we'd love to meet you. Please shoot me a message on Instagram, come on by. What I'd like you to do is screenshot this, share it to your Instagram story. If you tag us, we'll send you promo codes good for 10% off any of the apparel on the website. If you're not in the Baton Rouge area, you still want to support us, the best thing to do is head to the website. We do programming, and we do apparel on there. So until next time, release that Titan.